Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Blake Snell, Snellzilla, signs with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Oh boy, let's talk ball.
Pick off.
Run the hands up. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek code Talkin10. Blake Snell signs with the Dodgers. Big boy contract. The defending World Series champs. Two-time Cy Young winner. What does it mean for them? What does it mean for Blake? What does it mean for the pitching market? What does it mean for the NL and the NL West? We're going to talk about it all, and it's all thanks to SeatGeek. Make sure you guys download the SeatGeek app today or anytime over this little holiday. Maybe go see something. Get the family out. I think there's going to be some movie talk today. I don't know if that's SeatGeek's strength, but they have everything else. Concerts, events, sports, whatever has seats, and the geeks can tell you which way to go. Code Talkin10 is going to save you 10% off at SeatGeek. Download it now. Use it whenever you want. Talkin10. Save yourself 10%. Trevor, Rob Sirocco on the call today. Trev, this is kind of our guy. This is breaking news. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, kind of a shock last night to hear this, but definitely it makes a lot of sense. When you really break it down, Blake Snell, a young father, got a young family from
Wow.
the West Coast. You figured that was going to be factored into the equation, but again, free agency, a lot of things can happen, but I think I don't want to use the word brilliant of the Dodgers to throw 6 years, $182 million dollars and call, or 5 years, $182 million dollars and call that brilliant. But to go after a guy early, to give him what he wants to get the job done, I think, and we'll get into it a little more about why they did that, but it's exactly what I said needed to happen. If you're a team that needs something, go and get it now. And they did that with Blake Snell.
I I'm gonna talk about where I am in the world. Let's get some of the Snell stuff down. I'm in upstate New York right now with the wife's family, getting Thanksgiving going. Last night it breaks out. I get the news. Well, this is how much of a baseball loser I truly am. I'm on Instagram and I just see Snell posting from his personal account, him in a
Love that.
Photoshop Dodgers outfit, which again, knowing Snell, so this is 100% true. I click on Snell's Instagram because I'm like, knowing Snell and he's kind of a silly guy, I'm wondering if he just posted like 8 different teams because we also had the Juan Soto like fake announcement. So I'm like, oh, Snell probably posted like 8 teams that he's talking to and he's just messing with people on social media. I open it and it's only Dodgers. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that Blake Snell wouldn't just do that. So he signs with the Dodgers, 5 years, 182, like you said. I think the other thing that I think is an important note, and maybe I should have saved it, but the big Boris free agents and that crazy free agency. With his 1 year last year, Snell ends up getting a six. If you combine them, 6 years, 214. Now that 214, yeah, not bad, right? That 214 gets a little tricky with signing bonus and deferred money. That's right. We're back in the deferred money game. I guess before we do all that, what do we even need to do with the Dodgers? Like it's Snell kind of slots in as their one.
I don't know if he's their one. I mean, he's one C, one B, one A. They have a bunch of ones on
Yeah.
this team. I mean, there is actually so much to break down in all of this. The structure of the contract, people are going crazy about because there is we don't know the exact amount, but there is deferred money. They're saying 52 to 60 million dollars in a signing bonus. I haven't really got the specific number on that. Plus, there's deferred money, and that's causing people to say this is cheating. And it's like, no, well, any team can do this. You got to be able to convince guys to do it because whenever you defer money, it's worth less to you when you get it. We had that talk before the show,
Yes. Yes.
economics.
I had to
Uh,
straighten you out a little bit, but yes, we got
yeah,
there.
you did, didn't you? So uh, I, the Dodgers they're all in, man. I think that's the biggest thing here is for a couple of reasons, I think they're have the ability for a lot of reasons they have the ability to be all in. Number one, yes, they have a TV deal that not many other teams have. Around the league, teams are struggling with that right now. The Dodgers are not. They have a significant TV package that allows them to do that. Their ownership comes in. It's the wealth is spread around. They have money to spend, but a lot of owners have money to spend. But I think the thing that they've tapped into is they convinced Shohei to come here and convinced him to defer the money. They've created so much new cash flow with the Shohei brand. Like they spent money to make money, and now they're able to kind of spread it around the team. Oh yeah, winning the World Series helps with being able to pay. So they're saying, hey, they had the I don't know if I want to call it the foresight, but like they had the balls, man, to go give out this $700 million deal. Yeah, defer the money, push it down the road, but understanding that once they signed Shohei, like they were going to cash in on that, whether it's sponsorship deals, whether it's stuff like winning the World Series, and now they're saying let's do it again. Let's just continue to do this. Jake, I don't think they're done spending this offseason. And we talked about this a little before. This Snell um, contract, present day value, will bring them into the last tax threshold. So anyone they sign, they'll be paying 110% tax on them. Meaning, if they sign a guy for 3 years, 75, they're really signing him to 3 years, like 160, $170 million. That's what they're going to have to pay on as far as the tax for tax purposes. Crazy.
The rest of the Dodgers offseason is going to be very interesting. And the tweet that actually shook me to my core was our guy Max Manus being like, "Wait, is Roki still going to go there?" Which I think we can get there in a little bit because that's again an elite starting. That would be starting pitcher number one for them, like if that were to happen. But first with Snell, he gets the full bag. I know we did a little bit of that, but like this guy earned it, man. I was getting pretty frustrated the past couple years because well, he walks guys, and it's like, well, if he does everything else great, do I really care? And I don't. And seeing that the Dodgers, like kind of the most respected team in the sport right now, they just won the World Series. They're doing everything that we wish our teams would be doing. The fact that they went out and got Snell, like if Snell signed with Anaheim, let's be honest, we would have done like I don't know, Anaheim, they got to figure their stuff out. He signs with the Dodgers, and I think every other team got a pit in their stomach, like, oh wait, they just signed one of the most talented, if not the most talented left-handed starting pitcher in the game. Uh, who the other thing that I try to hit over the head because in baseball, there's numbers all over the place. Whatever ball player you are, Trev, you probably had some great Aprils. You probably had bad Aprils. You probably had good Septembers. You had bad Septembers. Blake Snell has got better every second half of every season he's pitched in. Every one.
And what do the Dodgers care about?
The second half of the third half of the season.
Yeah, nice
So
third half.
it's a perfect. I'm glad Blake got the bag. I'm glad the Dodgers get one of the best pitchers in the game, and I'm glad the Dodgers are setting the tone of okay, you won the World Series. They could have kind of sat on their hands. We knew they weren't, but they could have and had a really damn good team next year, the favorite to win the West. Instead, they signed Blake Snell, and I don't think they're done.
What's funny about Blake Snell is, and we've championed this guy. We understand, just what he can do on the hill. I think baseball, especially nowadays, they tend to look at stats differently. Like, let's different guys get to a certain place that you need them to get to in different ways. I actually just started the Red Sox Netflix thing last night. I took a gummy and started
Oh,
watching that. That was fun. That brings me back to Fort Myers when I used to see Johnny Damon
ooh,
run around. Yeah. So, in that they're talking about, hey, like there's all these undervalued guys. He may not have all these tools, but he gets on base. Like people were so focused on one stat that Blake Snell, you know, does poorly in his walk rate. But guess what? He has the most strikeouts per nine of any pitcher in Major League history. So like
Dude.
how did everyone miss this last year? Was it the qualifying offer? Like, is that what scared people off? Like,
Mm,
I don't know, but I, it seems to me like these front offices who now analyze the data and think differently, like they screwed this one up, dude. Like, why were they so scared of the walk rate when the strikeout rate was so good? I remember Blake Snell talking about that. I don't know where it was, but he's like, it seems to work. Like the numbers work. Like, yeah, I might do it a little bit differently than everybody else, but I get the job done. And then another thing that the Dodgers, I think, had the foresight on is they want to give this guy a regular offseason, dude. They want to give him a full spring training. Last year, didn't have a full spring training. I remember talking to him, one of his first starts with the Giants. He was down in LA. I went and saw him, and he was like, dude, like I never got to face major league hitters before pitching in the big leagues. I faced college guys, I faced minor league guys. And he's like, let me tell you, some of these minor league guys, like they don't have approaches anymore. He goes, the big leagues are the big leagues, man. Like you need to be able to
yeah.
face big league hitters to get ready for the season. He didn't have that last year, so he struggled and had some injuries early on. Second half, after getting acclimated, getting his arm back in shape, he dominated. So I think that's a major reason why the Dodgers were like, let's go get this guy now, let him get his family set up, and dude, he's gonna pitch so well for them next year. He fits perfectly in that clubhouse.
Perfectly. Like perfectly. And it so, my analytics department kicking in again. The more star players you have, the better. But where
Yes.
I was gonna get to that was like just the pressures differently. Like the Baltimore Orioles, Red Sox, and Yankees were rumored to be in on Snell. I've wanted him to the Orioles since going back to last year. I was like, wait, they got that massive left
You
field.
had him in
He's
the trade draft or the free agent draft.
I just thought he would be the one because we talked everything we just said about teams finding like guys being slightly undervalued. Snell's being slightly, maybe significantly undervalued because of the walk thing that I thought the Orioles would be like, yep, here's our guy. We can get him for cheaper than Burns and we might get a better output. That doesn't happen. He goes to the Dodgers where, hey, if he's on the Orioles and he's your one and, he has a couple of those tough walk games early and whatever, on the Dodgers, they're going to shrug. Hey, bounce that slider until people start swinging over it because they have every year. You know what we all need more of? Getting off our ass with bold flavors and a refreshing citrus kick. Mountain Dew will get you off your ass and having you feel like you're on an actual mountain. I'm on a mountain right now. A mountain where the weather is always perfect. Your friends are ready to hang and a day of epic proportions await. Whether whatever you're doing, I drink my Mountain Dew fishing. We play blitzball in our warehouse, slap ball, floor ball, whatever you're doing. Grab some Mountain Dews. Roll up with it. You're going to like the way you feel, and everyone else is too. The mountain is calling. You should answer. Grab your friends, grab an ice cold Mountain Dew wherever refreshing beverages are sold, and go do the do. Click the link in the description. If you don't know where to find Mountain Dew, come on. Come on, everyone. But click the link. Thank you, Mountain Dew. And yeah, I mean, for the Dodgers, if they get Roki, which again, I'm interested to see how that sorts out, because it's just a wild card of the offseason. Money matters and doesn't matter. It's kind of where does he want to land? The Dodgers have a full rotation now, but
A
there's
very
some
full rotation,
they
dude.
have a very full rotation, but like, Shohei's coming off injury and they've got to be careful with him. They have a few guys coming off injury. But Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Otani, Gonsolin, May, and that's before you
Bobby
get to
Miller.
the Bobby Millers, Landon Knacks. Um, what do you think they're
What
gonna do?
about
I know that
Stoner? Did he get
he got
TJ?
Tommy John, I believe.
Okay, okay.
They and yeah, I mean they have another crew of Emmett Sheehan, Gavin Stone, like they have layers to their pitching staff. Do you think they're gonna bring in another arm?
I wouldn't put it past them because I do believe, and Rose and I talked about this a little bit last night. I think that they they are ahead of people in the way they're thinking about pitching. Around the league, injuries are up, or you can kind of just like, you can just, you understand people are going to get hurt, dude. Like the
Yes.
days of guys throwing 200 innings are pretty much over. So you have to adjust your view. You can't just have, hey, let's get five workhorses out there. It doesn't work that way. They're willing to take chances on guys who have elite stuff and said, give us 130 this year and we'll have enough to get by. Like they are thinking that way as opposed to just trying to hold on to this notion that starting pitchers can give you 200 innings apiece. They just can't. It just doesn't work that way anymore. The way guys are training, the way they're throwing, how hard the velocity is, it just hasn't allowed them. So I think the Dodgers have seen this and they've been doing this for a while now, where they have a bunch of guys lined up, understanding that they need depth to get through the season, and then when whatever is available to them at the postseason, here we go. Let's get it done. I do think that they want to do a six-man rotation next year. I've been hearing rumblings about that a little bit with Shohei. So right now you can name them Yamamoto, Shohei, Snell, Glassnow, Gonsolin, Bobby Miller.
Dustin May.
That's Dustin May. Is he back for spring
I
training and
think he
everything?
should be. I'm not sure.
So it would not surprise me, especially if Roki comes over on, the pre-arb deal. But maybe he's like business savvy and he's like, no, I don't want deferred money, Dodgers. Let me get mine all up front.
And hey, maybe this is the Dodgers' one minor punishment is if you're Roki Sasaki coming over, you're like, no, I want to go to the Padres and be their two starter. Like I
But
want to
do you? That's the thing also. I think
right,
what's so attractive about the Dodgers is right now that if Snell was to go to the Red Sox or the Birds or the Yankees, maybe not the Yankees, but maybe the Yankees, like he's meant to be the piece to get
right,
them to the promised land. Snell goes to the Dodgers. He's just got to be himself. He doesn't have to
yeah.
work. There's no pressure on Snell. Or, I mean, very minimal pressure for that type of contract. He just goes there and he's just a piece of the puzzle, man. And I don't think that's true for every organization. Like, LA is, they have the leg up on pretty much every single team right now to sign guys because of, I think that's a big reason of it, man. Like, hey, dude, like, first of all, you get to go play with Shohei Ohtani. I think that's a draw, dude. Like, what we're going to probably consider the greatest player of all time. Plus, you're going to have a chance to win a championship every freaking single year. The perks that come with playing in LA, um, it's they're running circles around people right now.
Is that hey, we're gonna pay you up front and on the back end, I guess. I'm not great with it. There was a tweet that got me that said Snell's signing bonus would be the third largest contract the Guardians have given out. Um, think about that. Like we're kind of not playing in the fairest pool right now. I'm not complaining. I mean, my Yankees are the one that blew this. They used to do that. They were the only team. That's how they became the hated Yankees. That I have some jealousy, and your team should too. The TV thing is going to become, I mean, increasingly interesting over the next couple years. I mean, today's probably not the day for us to dive into it, but with the regional networks and some of the rumblings we heard from MLB, like that's going to be interesting to see in upcoming CBAs and how teams work. For the Dodgers right now, it's a dream, and I don't know. I guess I'm going to be interested if you're a starting pitcher. I mean, who you're kicking? I guess you can kick Gonsolin out of the rotation, and you can say, "Hey, May, like when we need you, we need you." It's an embarrassment of riches, and they're not done. And hopefully, the biggest learning for me from around the league, the best way to make money as a pro sports team. This is my
I
new
can't
thesis
wait to hear
project.
this.
This is
Oh my
great.
gosh,
The
give it to
best
me.
way to make money as a pro sports team, win.
Yeah,
Dude,
be good, be
you
good.
think you think the Kansas City Chiefs are doing bad in their financials? You think the Golden State Warriors used to be like one of the lowest 5-3 NBA teams, and then they became a dynasty. There's some Bay Area stuff. You can't use that for Kansas City. Like winning does it. The money will find you if you win. Um, God, dude, the Dodgers, they've run the West for 30 years and they're going to do it for another 30. I don't know.
You kind of just took a little side shot at the my Minnesota peeps. The Timberwolves had two draft picks wrapped around Steph Curry. There's always those shirts, bro. It's like Ricky Rubio and
Yeah.
somebody else. Steph
Guy
Curry
from,
right in the middle.
yes, a guy from Syracuse, Johnny Flynn, I think. It's tough.
No,
Tough.
I agree. I agree with you. Yeah, win. So like that, but a lot of it has nothing to do with money when it comes to that stuff. Like you got to be better at developing players and drafting and
Sure.
scouting, and the Dodgers are that, and they're a model organization for a lot of different things. Every guy we talk to who's played for them in multiple organizations will tell you that. So like they really have kind of figured out. You know who was kind of at the forefront of changing a lot of stuff they did in the minor leagues? My guy, Gabe Kapler.
Wow.
He was.
I know.
He was. He's not going to get credit for that. Um, but he started the nutritional stuff in the minor leagues. He started like, helping out with the player development and hirings there. And they've just absolutely ran with it, man. The Dodgers are there's something else, Jake. Here's my thought on the money thing too.
Okay.
First of all, the share revenue is there. Like your team is making money, okay? Like from the Dodgers deals, the Yes Network and all they're sharing this revenue with your team. If your team's not spending money, they should be. Uh, but if they can't, and this business is not for them, you know what they could do at any moment? Sell the team.
Sure.
At any moment, they could sell the team and make massive profits on it. And there's no shortage right now. There's no shortage of people that want to be in the pro sports business. People with big old pocketbooks. So I just can't get behind it, man. Like if you can't keep up with the Joneses, don't keep up with the Joneses. Get out the game. Take your check and allow somebody to come in and like kind of treat this the way that it should be treated.
Beautiful, Trev. Meet Just Bats, the largest online bat store. You won't find a better selection with brands like Di Marini, Easton, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more. So shop today to find your next baseball or softball bat at Just Bats. They've got whatever you're looking for. Over 1,000 models with the top brands, including the BB Core. Ooh, wood bats, youth bats, and more. Stand out at the plate with some personalization and never mistake your bat for someone else's again. Shop the hottest bats tab at the lowest prices this Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Save up to 80% off. Select brands at Just Bats. Free shipping, free returns on every order. It's the place to go for baseball and softball. There isn't a better online shopping experience than the one you'll receive when you head on over to justbats.com today to find your next gamer or some new lumber. There's a link in the description. Thank you, Just Bats. Let's bring it over to the general free agent market and the other teams because the other news that your team needs to know for this free agency, Snell was projected for less than this. I mean, we talked about it how, again, if a good team signed Snell, we would have been like, yep, hole in the market. They figured it out. Bad team signed Snell, we would have been like, ooh, they're going to take that risk, which is a dumb angle on our end. But the projections, and I don't want to throw anyone under the bus because it's where projections are a brutal ass. Because if one team is in, or if you're doing signing bonuses and deferred money, things get crazy. But Snell was projected to get 4 years, 120. So maybe the years is the more important thing. Snell gets 5 years. He's 32 years old. That Corbin Burns is 30. Somehow he's younger than Max Fried, which that's just such a beard effect
Who's
kicking
that?
in. Corbin
Corbin
Burns
Burns
is younger
is?
than Fried.
Yeah, Max is a baby face.
I mean, Max has a super baby face, and Burns has like the brawny man. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna chop down your tree's face. Um, hey, for this starting pitching class and market, this is good news for the players.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers were willing to go maybe an extra year that other teams weren't. The current day value we said was what, 160? So 5 years, 160 current day. That's not too far off from that projection. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you look around the league and you're talking about teams that missed out on Snell, there's still a plethora of, frontline starters available to you. So, I think it's great that the Dodgers did this early. I think it does put a little bit of panic in teams' minds, saying, "Shoot, do we need to go do that?" Like, and I think they should because you want to give guys a full spring training, as especially pitchers. I think that is a huge thing. But the teams that really are looking at starting pitchers and really in on guys like the Red Sox and the Phillies and maybe even your Yanks, like there's still guys out there, um, like I said, frontline starters that are there. So this is the first, big guy to go, and maybe it'll cause everything to happen quickly now. But Rose asked me last night, like, do you think other teams should be worried? Like, are they have they hit the panic button? I said, I don't think so. I
Not
don't.
yet.
Yeah, there's still guys available to them.
I I'm interested to see. Man, in the Snell example, I loved what you said because sometimes we overanalyze everything, but it seems like almost every pitcher who signs kind of late struggles for a little bit of period of time, whether that's, Snell, whether that, and it could be injury. It could
Jordan
be
Montgomery.
Jordan Montgomery, who's on the trade block and available. That's where I was going. Um, that I think there's a team that sees this contract and is like, oh boy, like, hey, maybe we need to go back to the Jordan Montgomery drawing board because to give out those 5 or 6 years at that kind of number, I can get Monty for 1 year and he might have just had no spring training. Like that could have
Yes.
been the fix. That I think that's good news for the Monty market. And I maybe the bigger update, and maybe this is where we're in full off season mode, just looking for any cheese to chew on. But my Yankees were involved. Okay. The Orioles were involved that we've been wondering what their offseason was going to look like. And the Boston Red Sox, who it feels like it felt like for 3 years Red Sox fans were craving for any rumor about free agents. And now it feels like we're finally at the free agency where they're rumored to be in on everyone. They're giving follow
Yeah.
up bids to Soto. They're in on Snell. That it seems like the Boston Red Sox are going to walk away with a big player this free agency.
They're my favorite team to watch this offseason because I think they have so many different avenues to go out and acquire players. They have the ability to go out and sign one of these big free agents. They have the talent pool in the minor league system and at the big league level to go out and trade for significant packages. So I just and they need to. I mean, 81-81 last year. They're looking up the Orioles passed them in the division. The Rays are always doing what they do, and the Yankees were in the World Series. So I think they're saying we need to take the next step. And they had such an interesting season too, Jake, last year where it was pitching dominant first half and then their offense just absolutely exploded. So they have some work to do. Even the Devers like rumors about him moving positions has got me so intrigued about what that means for them. So yeah, they'll be in the thick of it. I believe this is the off season where things actually do come to fruition for them and whoever they're trying to acquire. Like they're Max Fried feels like a Red Sox to me. That's
Stop
what
that.
it does. He does.
You stop that. Hey, this is kind of rude because he's your friend. If Max Fried gets offered this contract to the Dodgers in LA, does he? I don't know.
I honestly don't know what he's asking for. Maybe more years,
I
which
think he
is
would ask for 1 to 2 more years.
I mean, are the teams give out 7 year deals to pitchers anymore? Like they really try not to.
Right.
Um, does he take 5 years, 182, a little bit of deferred, massive signing bonus? I would say no. I think he's looking in the twos, but to pitch at home means something. I don't know, man.
We're gonna find out. It's gonna be something interesting to look back in a few weeks or a month or whenever it happens, because LA guy, really good pitcher, probably not the high end of Snell, but also without the low end of Snell at all.
Yeah,
That
much more consistent. Yeah.
you just wonder. And that's what we're gonna see the rest of this free agency. You mentioned the Red Sox trying to, the Yanks go to the World Series this year. They finish 500 again, blah blah blah. Um, Going back to the NL West for a second, what do you do if you're the Giants and the Padres and my Snakes and my Rocks are really trying to figure stuff out? I know they signed Kyle Farmer, but what do you do? Dude,
I
you
think
see
that the
you see this forming in front of your eyes.
here's the thing. Last year, it's not like the Dodgers ran away with the World Series. I mean, they were challenged at every single step, except I mean, maybe except the World Series.
Nice. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yes.
I don't know,
Thank you.
dude. Like, so the Padres aren't too far behind. Yes, adding Blake Snell means something. Getting Shohei Ohtani back in the rotation means something. But if you hear the Dodgers talk, all they ever say about these postseason was, man, like that was those guys are our biggest competitor in the league right now. So I don't think the Padres are that far off. I think that they have a team that could still come and beat the Dodgers in a playoff scenario. I truly believe that. The Giants, I do not know what the heck you do. I really don't, man, because you've signed some people. You have a, a pretty big marketplace there. Like you can spend some money, but I think it is really hard to attract a free agent hitter to go there. You know, it's just not an easy place to hit.
Yeah.
Pitchers want to go there for sure, but how much do you have to do to get back on this level? It's a lot, Jake. It's going to take a lot for them. And then the Rocks and the Snakes, Rocks are rocking right now. So we can't really expect much out of them. Snakes in the World Series 2 years ago. I, I don't know what you do. You're my Snakes guy. It seems like it's a fool's errand or you're playing for a wild card, right?
Yeah, I guess the glass half full attitude would be, hey, there's a bunch of wild card spots now. Like
Yeah.
25 years ago, we would be screwed. Where
Yeah.
now you have some hope, and it is getting into the dance and having your top three lined up and having your lineup depth and having a couple guys go nuts. That
I mean,
yeah, I guess that's a positive spin for me. Like, hey, you can you can still go dancing, make your team good,
they won
and then you
89 games last year.
yeah, like no, I just the Dodgers, man. There's something to it. There's something to LA. There's something to those uniforms. There's something to them having. Think about the sports debate world we live on. If we needed an episode of Talking Baseball, how good was Derek Jeter? We could crank that off, and you'll tell me how he's the worst defensive shortstop ever, and I'll say no, and well, whatever. Shohei Ohtani, best baseball player ever. Everyone's just like, yeah. I mean, like he pitches and he hits. No, nobody does that. He's also the fastest guy. Like he's on that team. With Freddie, with Mookie, with everyone. That yeah, man, it's the NL's gonna run through there for a few years, and they just if you believe in World Series and playoff experience, they just fully got the monkey off their back. Like they no 20 no shortened season, no COVID. Like this, yeah, we just did it. And it was the first year we signed the best baseball player ever. The NL that runs through LA till the deferred money's done. Getting some holiday shopping done this weekend, sure. Why don't you pick up some touchdowns? They're on sale at the DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings has doorbuster profit boosts and bet one, get one promotions on all types of touchdown bets. And get even closer to the action each Sunday with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Grab some TDs with DraftKings. They're on sale Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code TALKIN to opt in. That's promo code TALKIN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Are they the only super team? Like if we were to use the term super team, are the Dodgers the only super team in the big leagues?
Currently, yeah.
You don't consider like the Phillies, are they close? Are they the next up?
Man,
Like
I don't know.
like
This
no one
is
in the AL screams super team to me. Like not one fucking team.
no, I mean the Yankees are a step or two away. Like if they sign
Not
Soto,
yeah, they better bring Soto back. If they don't bring Soto back,
Judge
they are not.
Judge, Soto, Cole, Stanton. Like you have five guys there that are of their generation, a certain ilk, but you need
That's four,
more.
but
Never, it's never been about the numbers for me.
you started with
Uh,
your thumb.
but I don't know, man. I'm all out of sorts. Let's do this now because I know you're interested, and I wanted the people to get into the show. I'm in a bad setup right now. I'm
Okay,
at an Airbnb in a town called Cornwall on Hudson,
put the
which
Addy.
feels like we're missing. I'm gonna put the ad. I mean, people might. It's not a big town, and I am sitting in the chair that invented back pain. Like this thing is great.
You look like you're in the attic.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely redid it and they did a great job, but um, this is just between Wi-Fi, this chair, the lighting. We're holiday season grinding, man.
We are grinding.
Which brings us to the Thanksgiving draft. No, I'll save that for Christmas. But is what else do we need between this current free agency, Snell, the NOS? Is there anything else? Because I do want to talk about this Trop stuff a little bit because it's kind of been blowing my mind.
I, I I hope we're not on a waiting game. You know, the holidays are officially here, starting tomorrow.
I think
And
this is a
and
great sign.
you think so?
Yes, like
I hope
I,
so.
I think once it's cracked, it doesn't get sealed up again. Like
I do. I no, I do think the Juan Soto stuff is really holding some teams back. I don't think the Dodgers were ever really in on Juan Soto, even though people are still saying
they
that
had
they're
money
still
for
in on Juan
Snell.
Soto.
They had money for Snell.
Yeah, but that's not Juan Soto wants, 15 freaking years, dude.
Okay,
I don't
but if
I, I don't think they were ever really in on him. Maybe, I mean, prove me
do,
wrong.
do you
Holy,
think the Dodgers are in on Teoscar still?
I do. I
Okay.
do.
So he's going to be 20 mil. So that's between him
Yeah,
and Snell, that's
I
50 a
think
year. Like I think they're real for Soto, and that's horrifying.
no, well, I think that they decided that they'd rather go get how we talked about it. Do you want two players or do you want
Yeah.
one? So I think they decided, hey man, like we already have kind of like we need some starting pitching depth. We can bring Teoscar, but I think they made that decision.
If
That's what I
the
think.
if it did get dropped, if Soto signs for 600 mil and there's deferred money and a signing bonus and it's the Dodgers, will you then give some merit to the crowd that's like, hey, this is not fair?
I think I would. I think
Okay,
that would
me
push me
too, man.
over. Would it you? Yeah, I think I
Wow.
would. I'd root. Would I root against the Dodgers at that point? I don't know, man. Like I kind of root for them now. Like they're doing everything the right way. So that's kind of how I think about these things. Like, is your organization doing things the right way? And if they
Are
are,
your
like, I'm gonna
children
root for
Dodger
you.
fans?
No, no. My daughter is. My daughter's an LA fan, so she likes the Rams and she likes
She is
Freddie
LA.
Freeman. She has a bobblehead of Freddie Freeman in her room.
Okay.
And Teddy's like the antagonist. He doesn't really want to root for the Rams, which sometimes gets him in trouble in our circle. Um, he keeps saying one of his friends' dads played for the Seahawks. I'm like, no, he didn't. Like, I think that kid lied to you like 2 years ago, and you just been running with it. Um, but then he's like, I like the Twins. I'm like, gosh, all right, that's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
That's nice, Trev.
That's nice. It's nice, but like I'm like, hey, we can go to Dodger games and have fun. He's just not interested. So like I think for him it's the Padres because he plays on the SoCal Padres, and then the Twins because I played for him.
Twins could have used a Snell.
Isla's yeah, go Twins. Isla's a little smarter. She's like, I'll root for LA. This
Yeah,
sounds fun.
LA seems fine.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing. Um, Trev, hey, we'll see if we get more news or if this starts rolling. The Roki element, I still can't process through my head, but that's not going to be till January. That
If the Dodgers get Willy Adames, are you mad?
I'm not mad. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. This is they would be following the playbook that a team I like used to run out there, and I grew up thinking that was normal. Turns out, it's a new normal. So, I don't know. I think this is going to be good for the off season. Maybe that's dumb, but I think once the dominoes start to fall, you again, like I think some teams saw this contract and are like, "Oh crap, we we can't get Max Fried. We should go get Monty. Like, I think this starts a lot of conversations. Trev, let's send everyone into Thanksgiving talking about your Tampa Bay Rays. Again, another team you played for. I didn't hear you mentioning your children becoming fans of them. And maybe I don't know how to be fans of them because we currently the roof blew off with Hurricane Milton, which hey, we're sad about and it's messed up and it was like scary and stuff. Okay. They agreed to fix the roof and then they reversed it. So the Rays are planning on playing at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Now they're saying they're never going to fix the roof. Um, because why if the Rays don't extend their lease or get a new stadium? Trev, this has just entered, we originally were the number one labor pot in the world. This
Can't
isn't
wait.
labor. What would you call this? This is
It's a shit show, is what it
yes.
is. I mean,
Yes.
look, the Trop is the Trop.
Yeah.
Really not meant to be a baseball field. People have their people feel very strongly about the Trop, especially players that go in there. Some actually like it a lot, and but most people just absolutely hate it. This is it's crazy because I think Tampa does they should have a team. Like it's a city that's growing at a rapid pace. Like it's Florida is, there's a lot of great baseball players that come out of Florida, so it's still a big deal down there. So they have the
They
deal in
support a
place.
couple pro teams well between the hockey franchise and the football team.
Yes,
Yes.
in Tampa.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. So
Yes.
they had a stadium deal set, and I thought it was a done deal in Tampa. I guess none of these stadium deals are ever done. Are the A's going to Vegas? I don't know. Who knows? That's the crazy thing here, is that all this happened at one time. Hurricane, is it Milton came in, rips the roof off. Okay. That's not going to be ready. That's the first news we got. It's not going to be ready by 2025. So they have to find a new place to play. Okay. Enter Yankees spring training facility. That's already crazy enough. Look, I've been to the Yankee spring training facility many, many times. It's all right. It's a nice spring training
Right.
facility, but we're talking about, having a big league club do this. It's very reminiscent of COVID times and Toronto playing in Buffalo. Um, so they'll have to do that. The problem is, amongst many of them, I guess the first problem is you can't really play your games during the summer in Florida with an open roof because it rains every day. And I know now all these fields drain incredibly well. I played in the Florida State League where this would happen. Our BP would get rained out pretty much every single day from June through August, and it would be like a flood. And you'd be like, there's no way we're playing. The entire dugout will be full of water, Jake. And then it'll be ready by game time.
Yeah.
Like these fields drain well. But I guess that's not good for fans, and you want to be
Yeah.
able to hit BP and all these things. So they've started now to trade home series with teams and basically get them out of Florida during the summer. So, like for instance, they traded the Twins, got all of a sudden now have a 4th of July set when they didn't have that before at home, and they gave the Rays like a set in April, which makes a ton of sense if you're really
Yeah.
asking me. I don't want to play in Minnesota in April either. Give me the 4th of July in Minnesota. It's the most beautiful place in the world during the summer. So that's part of it. They're trading the schedule, which is absolutely nuts when you really think about it. And then what happened, Jake? The county votes and says, actually, we don't really want to fix the roof because you guys are planning to leave anyway in a couple of years and it's going to cost us X amount of money and we don't want to do that. So that happens. And then the stadium deal all of a sudden becomes uh, in flux for why? Why did that happen? Do you know why that happened? The new
I don't
stadium
know.
is not going to happen anymore because why? Because they never do because the team actually wants to relocate? I don't know.
Because it
It's a
never
freaking
does.
mess.
It never does until you see the image of people in suits wearing hard hats with the ribbon and they dig that first dig. It doesn't count until then. And man, I was gonna say I'm not the world is operated by a crew of a few people, Illuminati stuff, but the baseball Illuminati, it feels like okay. if you're the people running the league and you've got two teams now that are homeless, two franchises that have been rumored to be moving, it feels like there's
Oh,
bigger things in play, right? Like whether it's Vegas, whether it's Nashville, whether like I don't know. I guess in my head, man, this is fight or flight for Tampa. We've done this for how long now? And it's either, hey, you guys get that stadium, get me the image of everyone digging, literally blow up the Trop, or they're gone. And I like Trev, some of these notes we have, the fact we're talking about this on a baseball show is nuts, dude.
it is crazy. And the thing is, it's not about getting a new stadium necessarily. It's about moving them to Tampa. Like getting,
Right.
it's very hard to get to St. Pete, dude. Like put them where the people are. That's business
Oh,
101.
okay. Okay, Trev.
Okay, so here's the I asked like why the new stadium is not happening anymore or
Right.
rumored to not be happening anymore. Local officials postponed the approval of bonds that would finance the development plan the Rays and Pinellas County had previously agreed upon that would construct a new stadium near the Trop in time for the 2028 season because of the hurricane and moving to Steinbrenner
Wow.
Field for 2025. That doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
And why doesn't Major League Baseball step in and says, "Hey, we'll throw you the 30 mil you need to fix your stadium so we can actually like look like a not a circus down there." $30 million to Major League Baseball is nothing.
For one
And
of
hey,
their team,
pay us back. Pay us back
right?
eventually.
Pay it deferred money. I don't know.
Yeah, let's get you on that deferred money plan. It does seem shady. All of a sudden we've want, but the thing is, they want relocation for these two teams, but they also want expansion for two more teams. So
Right.
we're like running out of places. You can't like four different new locations is can you do that?
No. And that's where I if you're a Tampa fan, I don't want you listening to this and being it feels like there's still a Tampa solution.
I
It
do too.
feels like the new stadium. We saw a rendition that seemed like it got actually approved. If they start digging on that, the Rays, I think you can actually be like, yes, they're going to be. Everything you said about the city makes sense. It's not like a dying city or anything.
No.
It like location wise, it makes it. Look, the stadium's location, not so much, but that's what we're working on. That like it's if they don't have this figured out, like I'll give you one season, like between like we did with COVID and the Jays had to jump around and there was some international stuff, and it's like, okay, like whatever. Like sometimes that's life. If they don't have this figured out by the end of next year, the Rays are out of Tampa. Like
I
this
don't
is
know. They shouldn't be.
ridiculous.
They shouldn't be.
That they shouldn't be. I agree with that. I agree
Like
with that.
Florida, how many teams does Florida have if they leave? It's only two teams, right? I don't want to like mess that up. Pretty
It's
sure
the
we got
Orlando Magic, the Orlando Dreamers.
Florida seems like they should have two teams, not one.
The other leagues seem to make it work.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
How are baseball's two Florida teams neglected?
I don't know.
I guess football's like half been that way until Brady came through Tampa. Um, maybe Roki to Tampa, and that's their Brady. I don't know. I
Well,
just don't know.
that's a good point, Jake. Who the hell is going to sign with the Tampa Bay Rays when they're like, "Hey, we don't even know where we're playing." It's the same with the A's. None of you can't if you're a free agent, you can't you those are gone. Boom, boom. See you later unless you're desperate like I was. Um, who wants to sign there? And remember, the
Dude,
Rays have been like they tried to sign, they tried to trade for Juan
they
Soto. They
said they
tried,
talked to Soto.
yeah, they're trying to do. There's no chance anyone that has any big league time would go to Tampa right now. Again, unless you're desperate.
Man, I hadn't really thought about that just because Oakland has been the example. But Oakland also has been like full rebuild. Like maybe one veteran ends up there and it's a guy we're like, yeah, okay, they're about it. Otherwise it's a group of kids. The Rays should be contending next year. They've
Yeah,
gotten a full rotation back. They've
yeah.
got dudes in their lineup. Oh my God. Like dude, imagine. Trev, peak Trevor Plouffe. A beautiful summer in Minnesota, like you said. 2014.
Mm,
Hey, Trev, the Tampa Bay Rays are trading for you. I know, yeah, they don't have a stadium. You're actually gonna be on the road all summer.
that's the thing too. It's not
It's messed
fair
up.
to these guys, man. Like they have families. All of a sudden, hey, you're gonna be on the road for. Don't we have that on our notes? How many games they're playing in the summertime on the road? Did Dalton send that on our chat? I saw it somewhere, man.
Let's see. Okay, so some of the Rays schedule stuff. The Rays will play 47 of their first 59 games at home.
That's pretty crazy.
That's actually what if they get off to an undefeated April again?
They might,
Like,
dude.
and then it's
But not at
currently
home,
list
by the way. Not at home.
at home, not at home, at a single A baseball stadium. Then 69 of their final 103 on the road.
That's a
So
lot, dude. That's a lot
it's
of
a lot.
hotels and oh man. Like no home cooked meals, all that stuff. Jeez.
That's to
And
kind of bookend this with where the Dodgers are currently and where the Rays are currently at, man. That's insane.
they need to make they need to state intention for their stadium by Sunday. So we're going to get some clarification on what's going on. Or maybe we won't. Maybe that's just some fancy jargon and they'll say like, "Yeah, we intend to do this." But they're saying they have to declare whether they want to commit to construction of the stadium they have originally voted on in July by Sunday. So we're gonna get some clarification.
So in theory, we come back from Thanksgiving, we're supposed to know if the Rays have a home in Tampa for the next 25 years.
Yes.
I don't
We
believe it for
have
a second.
informed the county administrator and St. Petersburg Mayor Ken Welch the county's failure to finalize the bonds last month ended the ability for a 2028 delivery of the ballpark. As we have made clear at every step of this process, a 2029 ballpark delivery would result in significantly higher costs that we are not able to absorb alone. What? What's happening in 2029?
Trev,
It always was a political pod.
I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving and everyone's family a happy Thanksgiving because I almost just swore. I almost just cussed. And there's just no need for that.
There is
God.
for this maybe. Jake sucks.
Gobble, gobble, everyone. Be safe.
Sounds
Baseball
like Nashville's
today.
gonna get a team. That's your city.
Where?
Nashville.
Yeah. And dude, think about it. If the people at MLB, hey, where should we put our next team? How about Nashville?
Nashville Rays.
Nashville Ploufs.